On today's podcast, we're going to be talking about how to begin healing your nervous system and feeling a lot better by changing the experiences you have in your life. We're going to talk about the things that stand in the way, the things that are taking our attention right now that are causing us to not make progress and not feel better, and what to do instead. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast today.
Good morning. Welcome to episode 12.
You're amazing. Amazing.
Go Dodgers.
Go Dodgers.
Game
Tonight's Game 7 when we're recording this.
Yep.
Let's just get right into it.
Okay.
Get right into it. I've been thinking, I think with a lot of people, we want to change. We want to change, probably to a extreme degree. We want to change things. We want to heal. We want to get better. We want to improve. And in time, it can start to feel like a full-time job. And not only a full-time job, but a full-time job of trying to fix what we don't like. So there's a lot of focus and attention being placed on, I hate that I have low energy. I hate that I never follow through. I hate that I'm on my phone all the time. I hate that I can't stop overeating. Like we are really problem focused. And because of that, there are lots of solves that are solution focused to the problems that you're focusing on. And so I kind of want to talk about what happens when you start to get healing fatigue, when you start to get changing fatigue. You start you're getting tired of the constant quest to fix these things that drive you crazy. And on the huge scale, whether it's like I'm annoyed at how much I'm on my phone, and I'm really annoyed at the chronic pain symptoms that I'm dealing with, like the full range of, I have these things in my life that bother me. I don't want them to be here. I don't want them to exist. So I need to get to work or continue working on solving them and making the bad stuff go away. Because what that's going to do is it's going to get us stuck in fixing mode. And I'm sure, if you're listening to this podcast, my guess is that you've been on the hamster wheel of healing and changing and improving for probably a lot of your life. I'd be super surprised if people are like, oh no, I just barely was like, oh, I'd like to make some changes in my life. Because it gets us really focused on analyzing all the stuff we don't want. And what I've been realizing over the last 6 months is that where you place your attention really is where you place your energy. So the question is it the best use of our attention and our energy to funnel it into what we don't want to exist, and to make the solving be making that going away? Because then healing becomes our entire identity. It's what we do. It's a full-time job. It's another to-do list, and we're all fried and we're all tired.
So are you talking about people just getting tired of doing the habits they want to do?
I'm talking about the focus on making the annoying things stop. So what was the question you asked?
You said the change fatigue. Are people just getting tired of doing their new habits?
No, I think it's what I'm really talking about is the general focus on fixing the negative instead of introducing more positive.
Can you give me some examples?
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay.
So let's talk about first, why this happens. Your nervous system starts to get really addicted or really hyper-focused on the loop of there's a problem, and when I fix it, I get relief. I don't think we talk enough about the dopamine release of problems to solve. So it's something that we are generally attracted to. When we have a problem to solve, it gives us a purpose, it gives us a focus, and it gives us a payoff.
As a man, I can relate.
Yeah. Why?
Most men are just instinctively problem solvers.
Yeah.
And when there's a problem, it's hard to just watch the problem.
Yeah.
And
I can relate as a woman because I was thinking about I have these chronic issues and chronic things that I'm solving, but I'm what I really am? You know what I've really experienced? Chronic problem solving.
Yeah.
Chronic fear. Those are the underlying things of all this. It's there's always a problem to fix. And how good does it feel when you're oh, I felt some relief. I tried this thing and I felt some relief, and I'm getting closer to the solution. It has us on this constant hunt of problem, fix the problem, get that relief. But then the brain starts mistaking thinking about healing for progress, and spending a lot of time focusing on the changes we want to make and focusing on the potential of, if we make those changes, how much better life will be. And it thinks that is actually making progress. And the goal that we all have by healing or changing is to create a life beyond that, to not get stuck in that place where we're constantly in fix it mode. So I want to talk about the shift from healing and focusing on fixing to actually creating new experiences, because new experiences are healing. New experiences contribute to that fixing that we all want so much.
What do you mean by new experiences?
So new experiences, there's this quote that's like going all over the internet, like maybe you don't need more time to heal. Maybe you need more experiences that show your nervous system a different reality. And so we have to consider that when you are so focused on your problems and so focused on your shortcomings and your downfalls, you are pouring more attention into that and keeping that alive.
Got it.
So we want to replace fixing the problem with creating more capacity and more resilience.
Do you have an example for like one new, what is a new experience?
Yes. Oh, we're almost there.
Sorry.
You're good.
I'm just wanting something to chew on, you know?
Yeah. I know it's hard because we get in this loop of constantly wanting to make things better and to fix things. And I really am speaking specifically on healing. I think that's where there's kind of like a mix up here. It's like, oh, creating new habits, doing new. No, I mean the like self-improvement hamster wheel. I need to be better. I need to do more. I need more practices. I need more things to do. Like as if the things to do are what create healing. And I think that a big thing that creates healing from like being in a chronic state of stress and anxiety is not to focus more on your stress, not to focus on solving the stress or fixing the anxiety, but a shift to living your life.
Not a distraction though.
No, and that's the tricky part. But I really want to I want to be careful not to always be like, but some of you will, you got to get more comfortable knowing like what applies to you and what's relevant to you, because it's so easy to say something and then be like, but some of you are going to use this as a complete distraction. I'm talking to the people who like, you've been trying to heal, you've been trying to regulate, you've been trying to change so that you feel better. And now what we need to do is we need to start creating. We need to start participating in our life more. So this is a message more for people who have kind of like stopped that, stopped participating in their life, started making their life smaller, started avoiding the things that give them anxiety, starting to avoid the things that give them stress. Instead of being able to face those things with more capacity, they're just like, let's just shrink life, shrink it. But maybe if I do some more journaling, maybe if I do some meditation, maybe if I do something, and what if the doing something is getting back involved in your life? What if it's creating more experiences that show your nervous system safety? So instead of obsessing over the symptoms that you have and your anxiety and what you want to fix, we want to build energy and connection and safety and novelty through our life experiences.
What are some ways you've done that?
Some ways that I have done that are, and I talk about them all the time, is nature. Getting out in nature was huge for me. It was something that was like a really co-regulating thing. And it got me out of my house and off of my phone, which is the second thing that I would say. Like, I think you guys are going to start seeing more and more content and information about how damaging being on our phones all the time is, and what a efficient and effective distraction and disconnection it is from any of our problems. It just insulates us.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
I deleted like my social media apps off my phone for a couple days.
Yeah.
And like the urge to pick up my phone for the first 24 hours.
Yeah.
And then I just realized the thing I was going to look at wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I had to put my phone back down.
Yeah.
And I did that
it's embarrassing
maybe
like a couple times, but
47 times.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's just, we need to be thinking about it. And this isn't to judge or shame. I think it can be really easy to really jump on yourself and be like, dude, what is wrong? Why can't I put this down? Why do I keep picking it up? Why don't I, what's wrong with me? And I just think there's nothing wrong with you. It's just, we're doing way too much on our phone right now that there's a million reasons to pick it up. So nothing's wrong with you. There's no guilt. There's no shame, but there is a gentle nudge to dig into that a little bit, to ask yourself, how much time am I spending on my phone? How do I feel after a long period on my phone? Is it adding to my life or is it taking away? Because our phone is the biggest thing taking us away from experiences that are going to show our nervous system safety.
Yeah.
And it's threatening danger. It's signaling danger to our nervous system. So it's doing both. It's it's too much information, and a lot of that information is stuff that is sending your brain down a path of processing a lot of negative things. So it's bad in that way. And then it's also bad because it's preventing connection, it's preventing joy, it's preventing experiences. That's what I think as a culture and as humans we are moving away from.
But Maggie, I connect with people on social media.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that worked for a while, that statement. I think that worked for a while. I think it worked during COVID. Like, I think it worked, because it was like, oh, there's all these online spaces and there's so much you can do online. Like, I know I run an online business, but has it replaced real life connection? I'm not saying it's not connecting. I connect with people all over the world through the internet, through Zoom, through social media. But has it replaced the in-person connection? Is it replacing the experiences? Because even when we're out experiencing experiences, we're not even there because we're on our phones. I've made a lot of progress with that, thank goodness. But that used to be me. It was discomfort, and it was also just habit. So I was avoiding negative emotions. I was avoiding conversations that might be uncomfortable. And it was just what I was used to. Like, it has become our comfort blanket. It's in our hand all the time. We don't leave the room without it. It's on our body at all time, like a literal computer. And that's crazy.
I think we need a different word for what we're calling online connections. Because I think this is just my personal opinion, but I think it's just feeding into being online more and the consumption instead of creation. I don't think it's the same thing as in-person connection.
No, I don't think it is either.
At all. It's very, very far from it.
And I think there's so much that affects our actual bodies and our nervous systems when you genuinely connect with people in real life. Because like our bodies carry an energy, they carry a frequency, and you are affected by the energy of other people. We know that. Like when your stomach drops when you walk into a room, or so you get excited. Like we are affected by each other, which I'm sure to a degree is also a thing virtually, but I do think that it's different. And if we want to do those experiences, I mean, when you struggle with anxiety, when you struggle with pain, when you struggle with self-doubt, you avoid experiences. You avoid putting yourself out there. You avoid situations where you could feel vulnerable. You shrink things down. You stop driving. You stop going places. It has a really big effect. And so we kind of have to do the opposite of that. And instead of continuing to make all of these changes where you can literally cocoon yourself, go nowhere, and spend all of your time doing self-improvement at home. You can spend all your time with your journal and spend all your time in meditation and completely disconnect from people. But I think so much of healing we want to heal so that we can get back into our lives. We want to not be living chronically stressed out and freaking out in fear all the time so that we can get back into life. And I think waiting to feel better before you get back to living is a huge mistake that people are making. You have to start living before you feel better. You have to start living before the doubt comes down, before the fear comes down, before the anxiety comes down, because it's a new signal to your nervous system, and it tells your nervous system, we're safe. This obviously isn't dangerous. I want you guys to always remember the things that you avoid reinforce the danger. So if there are things that have in the past caused you to be anxious and you have said no more doing that, you've told your system, you were right. This was a threat. Now we will avoid it. Great job. You're doing an amazing job. But we just start doing that with everything.
I avoid social situations that I'm not comfortable with because of my social anxiety.
Yeah.
So I avoid those. I just don't go.
Yeah. And I think we all struggle with that. Something that I did is I was it's always a work in progress, but I would go to things that I used to have. Actually, I'm realizing I have so much less social anxiety now.
Yeah.
But that's just because my general fear of everything is down so much. But I used to have so much anxiety going to anything. And what I would do is I would come home and I'd be like, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. And I would that's what I would highlight. I wouldn't highlight the things that confirmed that was terrible and this person said this dumb thing and blah, blah, blah. Because all that does is it reinforces the loop of, you should avoid social situations. So I get out of those things and I'm like, man, I really, really blew that up in my head. I really thought that was going to be really bad, and it wasn't at all. So it's those kind of scenarios where I want you to know that the reason why they're important is because they show a different experience to your nervous system. And that alone, that's what I call a lot lately, letting your environment do the heavy lifting. Because we want, and we're so uncomfortable with this because we're like, well, tell me what to do. You're telling me just to go on a walk? And I'm like, yes, because you're not ever doing that. You're not moving your body. You're not out in nature. And this is one of those things that it's going to feel so easy. And we're so resistant to easy options, even though that's what we want. It feels too easy to make a difference. And it's like, no, go with the ease. Let the environment do the heavy lifting. Being wrapped up in a blanket on your couch doom scrolling looks very safe from the outside. It looks like what could possibly hurt you. But when you are there alone with your spiraling thoughts, avoiding your life, avoiding anything that could potentially trigger you, while taking in 10 million bits of information every second with every swipe, that is very unsafe to your nervous system, actually. That's like literally, it's almost like you're taking in all these threats while being locked in one position. I can't think of anything worse for your nervous system as far as feeling trapped and taking in all this information that you have to process. We're moving in the wrong direction. And that has been such a big part of why I no longer deal with any chronic anxiety. And I am not chronically stressed out. And when I tell you I was afraid of everything, even things that most normal people would look at and be like, that's not a threat. Like some guy looking at us while we took out our, luggage at a airport. Like, I'm just like, oh, he's gonna, like, my brain was looking for threat anywhere where it didn't exist. And a big part of this healing was just put yourself in positions that, number one, you've avoided a little bit, that with your higher brain are absolutely safe. Show your nervous system a new reality. And for me, that new reality was green things, blue skies, walks with my dog, going out to family things, just anything that was like, so that my system was like, what are we doing? This is not, we've been in the house for the last 9 months. This isn't, I thought these things were dangerous. And it's like repeatedly showing your system, no, we're safe. Before we felt better. That's a very big thing that I want to highlight. I felt very, very bad for a very long time doing this. But I guess about 4 months. Can you guys deal with feeling really uncomfortable for 4 months in the quest of, really changing things? But yeah, you want to choose experiences that stretch you, but don't like totally, put you, down. Like walks, like creativity, like play. Baking was another big thing for me. What I keep telling people is like, what can you do that gets you out of your head and into your body? What can you do that gets your hands doing something other than swiping and typing?
The reason I was trying to get off my phone is because I felt like I found a correlation between my phone consumption and my lack of creativity. It was affecting each other.
Yes. It's like you were using that energy.
Yeah. I used to sit down and write music on my computer for hours and hours and hours. And like I would try to do that. Like I took many years not doing it just because I was so busy. But when I sat down to try and do that, something happened where 7 minutes in, I felt like I wasn't getting enough reward from it, and I would stop. And I think I just realized like my brain has adapted to this consumption on my phone of like, it's the reward is just way too easy.
Yeah.
And so getting off my phone, I'm trying to like reset that reward and make it so that I can create more and be okay with the slow drip of reward. You know what I mean?
Instead of like, what am I getting from this? I feel like I'm only getting frustration because it's been 7 minutes and I haven't got any dopamine releases that are like.
It makes me feel so much better. I'm literally just sitting down at a piano and like going slowly through this piano course that I bought.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not getting
We're
anything out of this.
retraining ourselves.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy because technology advanced so quickly that I really believe that our human bodies and nervous systems have not been able to keep up, and we're starting to feel the effects. They said, I saw a research going around that said that the peak of social media was like in 2022, and it's been trending down ever since because people are just like, which makes sense. That was 2 years into COVID. But
the most dangerous thing about it is that the effects of it aren't like super apparent in your life. You don't put on 60 pounds. You don't become unhealthy. I think everyone is slowly just getting more and more
invisible.
Anxious and dysregulated.
Yeah. It's an invisible drain, and it's an invisible cost. It's invisible to other people. It's not invisible to you. You feel it so somatically, like you feel it in your body.
Yes.
It's like a drain. And that's what I've been talking about more, like with the drains that we're not aware of, the drain of overthinking and just sitting around thinking about your problems, the drain of being on your phone, the drain of the actual energy you have inside of you to use every day, to use to create or to use to consume. I know it's dorky, but it's real. And you were losing that energy.
Tell me why you have, after doom scrolling for an hour straight on your couch or your bed, tell me why you have kind of a low key gross feeling in your body.
I think it's because it's a combination of all the thinking you've been doing and all the emotions that have been elicited from that thinking. I think you've been in this constant loop of seeing, processing, feeling, seeing, processing, feeling. It's constant stimulation. And so that it feels very not busy. And I think it's incredibly busy. You just can't see it. You have to process every bit of information in some way. Of course, our brain has these filtering systems that couldn't possibly take in every aspect of, like, I'm looking at this room right now. I can't take in every part, but my brain is actively what you're doing, what you're saying, the lights, the everything. Imagine what is happening in our brain with social media and being on our phones at all. It's constantly processing, and what we see elicits thoughts and feelings for us. You are having thoughts about what you see, and when you have those thoughts, you are feeling something. And the energy of that, whether it's up or down, good or bad, you're laughing, you're crying, like you're anxious, you feel relaxed. You are feeling the entire span of the human emotion for free, for no exertion. You are doing nothing for this except lying horizontal and doing this motion with your thumb. And I just think when you get involved in your life and you start creating things and you start exiting your house and you start finding things that are for no other purpose other than feeling joy, and you leave without your phone, that is a completely different experience than most of us are spending 90% of our days in. It signals something else. And so we talk about the doom scrolling and stuff and talking about the time on your phone, but this also applies to healing content. This also applies to self-improvement. This applies to my content, and it applies to all of my podcasts. People love to find my podcast and say they binged the whole thing. That is also an input. That is also something that feels really busy. It's also something that your brain has to process. You have to process what I'm saying. You have feelings about your situation and how it applies. Your brain is very busy. That doesn't mean anything's happening, though. You do have to you have to separate taking in information and applying it, which we know. I know you get that, but sometimes applying it is just get out of your house. Go for a walk. Go do something. Do something that shows your nervous system a different reality. Otherwise, you will get that fatigue for nothing. You will get that fatigue for nothing, either because you're doing a lot or because you're thinking a lot. Neither of those things means you're actually making any progress. You can do a ton and think a ton.
It's like your nervous system is like a car motor, and you're just like letting it idle all day.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you're never turning it off.
Yeah.
You're never giving it just time to just let your car rest. You can't let your car idle all fucking day.
Yeah. And I don't think that anyone realizes how busy that motor actually is. I would say it's even busier. It's on. You're on all the time. And so you're so used to being on that being off actually feels unsafe. Yeah. You're so used to being on that rest actually feels dangerous. Because if we're not doing something and we're not creating something and we're not being productive and we're not improving and we're not growing and we're not, then what are we doing? What's the point? I need to earn my rest. I haven't done enough to lay down. Laying down is lazy. I mean, this has so many different layers to it where sometimes me telling someone, are you planning time for rest? They're like, number one, no. And number two, what's that going to do?
Yeah.
What is that going to do? It's going to offset the motor. It's going to offset all the doing you're doing. It is safe to stop doing. It is safe to create. Because what are you doing with that music? What are you making money? Are you selling it? Dude, what's the point?
I know.
And that's what we're all up against, is things we do for what's the point? What's the point in this?
The point is to feel something different.
The point,
to rest.
Yes. The point is to rest the constant input and to start making some output, and not for any productivity state or for any productivity's sake. It's just to create. It's just to get you into the, out of your analyzing brain. It's literally a different part of our brain. I don't think any of us are even using it. And a lot of us used it and then we turned it into a business. And now we're still, It's hard to just create when you're not like, well, what's going to be the point and how are we going to market it's like, it's slippery slope. And so I'm really encouraging you to start living, start having actual experiences. Stop experiencing other people's lives through their get ready with me and their day in the lives. I love them too, you guys, but like between the reality TV and the podcasts and the books and the social media, we are watching other people live their lives, and we are getting all of the emotional hits of like what they're going through that's good and that's bad. And it's not us. It's fake. Like that, when people are like we're living in a simulation, like all that conversation, it's like we're able to have the output emotionally and the experience emotionally for us doing nothing. We can feel all the feelings humans feel and those experiences, and we can never leave our couch. We can just turn on 90 Day Fiance. And we've got the drama, we've got the relationships, and we're not doing anything for it. In fact, it's affecting our nervous systems in a really profound way that I don't think we have the science yet to know the effect of what this is doing to our brain. But from what I've heard so far, it's terrifying. It's scary. We are shrinking the gray matter in our prefrontal cortex, the place where we make decisions from. I think we're making our amygdalas and our limbic systems bigger. I think we're making those the primary place that we're living from. That's the emotional state. That's the anxious place. That's the survival place. Like, we're going in the wrong direction here.
You know what? One of the best things I did, even when I was on my phone all the time,
What?
I unfollowed and removed all political stuff from all of my algorithms and feeds.
Yeah.
That
Because
stuff can exist without me knowing about it.
Yeah. Well, and it's so extreme either way. The chance of getting...
That shit will dysregulate you.
Yeah.
No matter what you believe.
Yep.
It's trained to trigger you.
Yeah. It's a lot of rage bait.
Yeah.
And emotionally, our nervous systems are taking the bait because our nervous systems are trained to look for danger, to look for impending doom. And the internet has so much of it that there's a balance between awareness and there's a balance between looking and staring. There's a balance between observing and absorbing. And we walk that very, very fine line, actually very badly, very poorly.
Yeah.
And so look at the ways you're contributing to the way your nervous system is responding, both by the negative things that you're doing and the things that also appear very positive, and neither of them are making a difference. They're just keeping you really busy. They're keeping you very distracted. And what they're distracting you from is they're selling you this story that you need a little bit more time. You need a little bit more information. You need a little bit more distraction before you do anything. And what's happening for all of us, unfortunately, is we're staying dysregulated and we're missing our lives. We're missing them. And we're either missing them from distraction, which is so easy with your phone, or we're missing them by staying really busy on fixing problems that like don't actually exist. And we want to feel better and we want to heal. And you can put yourself in situations that just simply signal safety.
Over the years, we've talked about how behavior change is not quick. There's no hacks. There's no quick fixes. Mm-hmm. But I want to say that in this scenario, I think there is.
Okay.
And I want to challenge everyone listening to this. If you feel like you're somebody who's on your phone too much, you can delete your social media apps from your phone, or you can get some type of blocker device. We use the Brick. I'll put a link in the show notes for it.
Save $10.
If you want $10 off. I want to challenge you, 72 hours, delete your social media apps off of your phone, or hide them, block them some way. And even if the thought of that makes you uncomfortable, I want you to think about that for a second. Why is that making you uncomfortable? The first 24 hours will be uncomfortable, and then it'll be very, very easy. It is a very quick hack to feel better.
Yeah.
Very quick.
Yeah. It's a good starting place to kind of open you up to something else, because the fact is, if you're not going to be on your phone, what are you going to do?
Well, and also I forgot to add that I'm not saying stay off social media. If you have another device you can do social media on, like a desktop or a laptop, iPad, whatever, something other than a mobile device.
Yeah.
It's a lot different.
Well, something I want to also remind everybody, because I don't think we've talked about it here, is I started releasing content on YouTube.
Yeah.
So long form, but obviously not as long form as a podcast. And I went into like this fully as far as reducing my screen time, what I did. It includes some of the things Ryan just talked about, but it includes more as well. So if you're interested in that and you are a YouTube person,
I will link that video right here.
Ryan will link it. And
if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see a link to it.
And so yeah, there's just a video that's explicitly about this because I think it's a huge problem. I think we need to talk about it a lot more. And I think it's the number one thing, like keeping us dysregulated, and everyone wants to know what to do. But lately I've been like, there are so many things you need to stop doing first. Like before you're like, oh, I need to journal every day and I need to meditate for 30 minutes every day. I do both of those things every day, by the way, but I didn't start with that because there were so many things that I was personally doing that were contributing in the worst of ways to my system, that just stopping those things and doing basic things like baking and getting out into nature and like taking time off of my phone was...
Stop researching. That was probably the biggest
one. Yeah. So like I got out of fixing mode.
Yeah.
And then when I started implementing things like meditation and journaling, I wasn't doing them to fix anything. I was just doing them because I know that they're good for you. And I actually do enjoy both of those things. But had I started them too soon, when I was such a wreck, I would have been like, it's not doing anything. It's not fixing anything. And now that I don't have the expectation that it does anything or fixes anything, it's actually been extremely helpful. Yeah. Go figure. So don't get stuck on the hamster wheel of distraction and of healing. And it's time to start doing some stuff. It's time to start doing some different things. Look at your days. Look at the way your time is spent. The way you spend your time will show you where you are exerting your energy. And for most of us, that needs to shift into different focuses, different things, different experiences. I want you to reach for that, because if you reach for a new experience, you're also going to simultaneously be reaching for a new emotional state, and that will shift you to a completely different trajectory. Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
All right. See ya.